What is up, Benchwarmers, and welcome back to another NFL 2020 AFC South Edition prediction video with second place, the Indianapolis Colts. Now, they had a couple of acquisitions that were pretty good. They had Jacoby Brissett last year, who, honestly, I still like Jacoby Brissett. He was kind of a dark horse MVP last year a little bit, but, well, not dark horse MVP. He was kind of building up to that and then fell off a little bit. I still think Jacoby could have a bit of a future, but probably not based on how the current NFL situation with quarterbacks are, where every team's kind of stacked at quarterback except for the Jags, the Bears, and there's a couple of them. But the Colts, they still have Jacoby, which, honestly, I could see them putting him back in because they got Phillip Rivers in the offseason. Their biggest acquisitions in the offseason were Phillip Rivers, and in the draft, trading for DeForest Buckner from the 49ers. And in the draft, they got Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor. Those are the big ones. And, I'm missing one. I know I am. But I don't care. Because Jonathan Taylor, I think, is the only rookie that's going to have a big impact. Because running backs, I feel like, can do that as a rookie, even with training camp being what it is, and him and Marlon Mack, that's going to be a really good that's going to be a dynamic backfield. I'll do a backfield buzz video on them. But Phillip Rivers had a absolutely terrible year last year, and I kind of expect similar numbers. Like, yeah, maybe they'll be able to protect him a little bit better than the Chargers, but weapon-wise, he's got T.Y. Hilton, and then San Diego or Los Angeles, both. He had Keenan Allen. He's got Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor. He had Austin Eckler and Melvin Gordon. Like, it's not too different offensively or defensively for that matter. Both Chargers and Colts have pretty decent defenses in the past couple years. So, I don't know how the Colts are really going to do with that. Depends on Phillip Rivers. And they got Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett, and Jacob Eason. I'm not expecting anything out of Jacob Eason at all this year, or maybe even in the future. I don't know. He could be one of those guys, late round picks, that becomes the next, kind of Dak Prescott type that does well, but we'll see. But with the Colts, like they're second place because of quarterback play. Honestly, I could probably flip them and the Texans a little bit with these. Because it's one of those where, as I think about it more, I'm a little bit less confident about this prediction. Just thinking about Phillip Rivers, if he plays the same way he did last year, the Colts aren't going to be good. I think it was a bad pickup. I think he should have retired. But with that being said, let's get into the first 4 weeks. Kind of a shocker week 1, getting massively upset by the Jags. Minshew Mania takes him over. Kind of catches him off guard because it's Phillip Rivers' first in-game action with the team. The rookies like Pittman and Jonathan Taylor kind of trying to find their feet a little bit, so they might not get that much playing time beginning. So Jaguars, if they're going to beat the Colts at all, it's going to be week 1. Week 1, anything can happen. Week 1's just kind of a wash of a week, honestly. Like, if you base any kind of predictions off of what happens week 1, just stop doing predictions. Well, don't stop, but you just try to learn a little better. But then they're going to beat the Vikings because I think they're just going to be a better team. They're going to have a really good rushing attack. They're going to have a really good defense, and the Vikings' defense is kind of depleted. So I think they'll be able to take that one. Taking the Jets, because Jets have a decent defense, but their offense, they've lost their biggest weapon in Robbie Anderson. Yeah, they got Denzel Mims in the draft, but rookie with only a month of practice and only 2 other games of in-game experience in the NFL. I mean, yeah, they got Le'Veon Bell, but he wasn't used very well last year. Colts are going to win. And then the Colts are going to beat the Bears. Quarterback play is kind of going to come into it, and I think the Bears could definitely take this one. I think they have the better defense by far, but that's still no knock on the Colts defense, which is really good. But The offense, I'm going to give the Colts the edge because of their rushing attack. And it's really close with quarterback play because, it's either going to be Trubisky or Foles versus Phillip Rivers. And right now, that's kind of even. But rushing attack is where I give them the edge. So the Colts are going to take that one. The next four. Boom, 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 boom. LWLW. So the Browns are going to win because they're a little bit more well-rounded team. Now they're going to struggle a little bit because they've got a brand new head coach again for the third year in a row. It's technically like Baker's, actually not technically. This is Baker's fourth new head coach because they had Greg Williams after they fired Hugh Jackson, which honestly I thought they should have hired Greg Williams to start, but they probably didn't for reasons like he's a dick, which wouldn't surprise me. But the Browns have the better defense. I think year 3 of Baker really shows, and he had a sophomore slump last year. I'm really banking on him doing that. Sunday game might be game of the week. I'd be excited to see that one, hopefully. So I'm gonna give it the Browns. Chubb's gonna run over them. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that, but Chubb's also nothing to scoff at. So I'm gonna give the Browns the win there. Then the Colts are gonna beat the Bengals. Bengals are gonna be in trouble because of how the offseason kind of went out. They're definitely banking on rookies like Joe Burrow, obviously, and that's just not going to work. He's not going to have any kind of preseason. He's going to have a month of practice. And yeah, he'll have 5 more games of experience before this, but it's going to take a while. And Colts are just the more ready team with the much better defense. So Colts are taking that one. Lions, after the bye week for the Colts, kind of going to shock a little bit, but also not too much. Their backfield versus the Colts backfield is very close. DeAndre Swift, Kerryon Johnson versus Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor. 2 rookies, and I think Johnson and Mack came out of the same draft. They might be a year apart, but still. Very similar backfields. Taylor and Swift are very similar running backs, both rushing and receiving threats. Swift was a bit more of a proven receiving threat, but Taylor did show he could do that last year in college. So, but this one could go either way. But if Matt Stafford's healthy, I like the receiving core better. The defense is obviously going to the Colts, but if Matt Stafford's healthy, he can play at an MVP caliber, so long as they finish in the fourth quarter, which has been a problem ever since Patricia's been hired. But then you're gonna kind of surprise and beat the Ravens, who are coming off a bye week. You're gonna get ahead of them, and they're not going to be able to catch up. Just like in the divisional round versus the Titans. You're going to be able to pass on them a little bit, get ahead, and they're going to struggle to come back still. I think Lamar definitely takes steps up in his passing game, but not enough. So, Colts taking that one. Next 4. So, you're going to lose to the Titans Thursday night. That's going to be a fun one. Titans going to run over you with Derrick Henry. Tannehill, he's a good game manager. Not going to throw too many picks. They've got a better defense. Now, the Colts defense is good, but it's not the Titans. And I think Phillip Rivers is going to throw a lot of picks here, and that's going to be the ultimate thing. Now, Week 11, I think this one can go either way. But Phillip Rivers was bad last year, and the Chargers still beat the Packers. Hurts me. This hurts me too, but I'm going to say the Colts beat the Packers here just because I think Phillip Rivers might have a good game against them, and they're going to have a really good running attack, and I don't fully trust the Packers' run defense still. But then you're going to beat the Titans. You're at home. I don't know how much home field advantage is really going to affect teams this year, but still, you're at home, and it's the second time you played. It's very hard to sweep a team, so Titans are going to lose to the Colts. But then you're going to beat you're going to lose to the Texans. I think the Texans' offense is going to be kind of underrated this year, but they have a decent receiving core, even though it's without Hopkins. They've got running back by committee, and they're all kind of guys like Duke Johnson and I, who knows even anymore. Lamar Miller's gone. They got John. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank on the guy they traded for Hopkins, or they traded Hopkins for. But if someone will probably tell me in the comments, or I'll look it up afterwards. But I think their offense is going to be a little overlooked by you guys. Their defense is definitely a lot worse than the Colts right now, especially. So I'm just going to say Texans win it here. Now Sunday, it's another 4 o'clock game. Gonna say, oh, right, Final Four. I should probably do that. This is where it gets a little hard for you Colts fans. Nope, wait, I'm wrong. Was I wrong with week 13? Nope. Oof. Sorry about that. 8-8. That's rough. That's definitely hard. But you're gonna lose the Raiders. I think the Raiders you kind of stumble after losing to the Texans, and then you really stumble after losing to the Texans by losing to the Raiders. Texans again. Texans sweeping you. Just because I think the Texans, their offense, I think Deshaun Watson's the real deal. Their defense is obviously nah, but Steelers, their defense is. I think their defense is better than yours. Ben Roethlisberger, better than Phillip Rivers. He kind of always has been. I mean, I'm not because of the rings, just talent-wise. I mean, he is a Hall of Famer, and everyone knows that. Phillip Rivers, he's argued, is he a Hall of Famer? Now, I know rings does come into account for that, and I hate that, but it is still the case. But then you're going to beat the Jaguars, because Jaguars, you should beat them. If you don't, what happened? But this is kind of 8-8. I see is very possible. Just because I just don't really trust Phillip Rivers. Now let's see what your floor is, because it's not great. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so 4-12, I'll say that's your floor. It's similar to, I think the Chargers got 5 wins last year, so it's similar to the Chargers last year, where they had really good defense, they had great weapons on offense, and Phillip Rivers just kind of lost it for you. So that's their floor. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, saying 8-8, but let's see what your ceiling ceiling is. First, let's get back to normal. Okay, so 8-8. Ceiling, much better. $13-3. That's your ceiling. I don't think you're going 13-3. A lot would have to go right for you. Meaning Phillip Rivers has to clean up all of his play, which I don't really see happening. So I'm just gonna stick with 8-8. Phillip Rivers with the picks is gonna kill you, kind of like it did the Chargers. So let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will see you next.